This is Help Wanted, the show that makes your work work for you. I'm Jason Pfeiffer, editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine.
And I'm money expert Nicole Lappin. On Tuesdays, Jason and I answer the helpline and help callers solve their work problems.
And on Thursdays, I give you one way to improve your work and build a career or company you love.
And it starts now.
This isn't the kind of thing we want to think about much, but what are you bad at? Like bad, really bad. You know, just something you never feel like you are really in control of, really in command of, something that when you do it, you struggle and you fumble and you feel embarrassed and frustrated, and then your failures make you question your skills and your abilities. And anyway, just have that in your head. Because today I'm going to share a revelation that completely changed how I think about my own weaknesses. And here it is. You're bad at something because you're really good at something else. And once you recognize this, you can refocus your strengths for maximum impact. But first, before we dig into that, let me back up and share my own frustrating struggle and the important lesson that it taught me. I've done a lot of TV segments. They're usually about 4 minutes long, and I play the role of quote-unquote business expert. But here's a secret. I am often frustrated by my performance on these shows. TV makes me feel rushed and scattered, and this drives me crazy because I pride myself on my communication skills. I always think I should be better at this. Recently, I spent some time pondering this question. I asked myself, what actually makes me uncomfortable in these TV settings? Like, what is it that's throwing me off? It's not the camera. It's not the audience. It's usually not the subject matter, the stuff I'm talking about. And then it hit me. The problem is the time restriction. I am a great long-form storyteller. I know how to unfold a narrative and how to break down complex ideas. I write long magazine articles. I can speak on stage for an hour straight. I can go forever on podcasts, as you've heard. But TV needs snappy answers in 45 seconds. And I developed the totally opposite skill set from that. In other words, I am bad at one thing because I am really good at something else. And that's a powerful thing to recognize. You know who else recognized it? Beavis and Butthead. This is going to sound stupid, but a small tangent. The first time that I ever encountered this idea, it was on Beavis and Butthead in the 90s. It was strangely profound, actually. In case you're too young to remember Beavis and Butthead were these two cartoon idiots who watched music videos all day and obsessed over which bands were cool and which sucked. And in one episode, they had this exchange. Beavis says, "How come, like, some stuff sucks and then, like, some stuff is pretty cool?" And then Butthead replies, well, if nothing sucked and everything was cool all the time, then it's like, how would you know it was cool? You need stuff that sucks to have stuff that's cool. Now, what Butthead is saying here is that quality is relative. Bad experiences enable us to recognize and appreciate good ones and vice versa, which is actually a very interesting and profound insight, which is why it was funny coming from Butthead. And if that's the case, then bad things actually serve a purpose because they can help us recognize and lean into our true strengths. You have a version of this too. Maybe you relate to this because you're bad at small talk, but that means you're great at deep, meaningful conversations. Or you're disorganized, but that's because you're great at creating big picture thinking. Or you're slow to make decisions, and that's because you're great at considering all angles thoroughly. Or you're bad at multitasking, because actually you are really great at focused, deep work. And here's another more personal example from me. I am not very emotional, which has its downsides. You can just ask my wife. But the upside is that I rarely get rattled, and I can always be called upon in difficult situations. We tend to think of our traits as separate and unrelated, that we're good at this and we're bad at that, and those are just things about us. But they're often two sides of the exact same coin. So what do we do about this? Recently, I was talking with Shark Tank's Robert Herjavec, and he had some interesting advice about this whole thing. He said that entrepreneurs often work on the wrong parts of themselves. They become obsessed with their weaknesses and focus heavily on fixing them. But Robert thinks that's foolish. He told me this. He said, "The world is so competitive that you have to take the things you're good at and become great at them. Because if you focus on the things you're not good at, someone's going to eat your lunch." That's what he said. Now, Robert isn't saying to give up on hard things, of course. We should always push ourselves into uncomfortable territories, and we should always strive to improve. But we should also embrace a form of maximizing, of knowing what we're great at and using it to our advantage. So if you're feeling bad about something that you're not good at, ask yourself this question. Am I bad at this because I am great at something else? And then anchor yourself to that greatness. For example, I will still go on TV and I'll still work to get better, but the stakes now feel lower. I know that I don't need TV because I know where my true opportunities lie. So that's where I'm going to spend most of my energy. And that is where I must be great. The world does not need you to do everything. It needs you to be singularly exceptional. So use your disappointments to show you the way. Help Wanted is a production of Money News Network. Help Wanted is hosted by me, Jason Pfeiffer.
And me, Nicole Lapin. Our executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. Do you want some help? Email our helpline at helpwanted@moneynewsnetwork.com for the chance to have some of your questions answered on the show. And follow us on Instagram at Money News and TikTok at Money News Network for exclusive content and to see our beautiful faces. Maybe a little dance.
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
All right, well, talk to you soon.